Do you suffer from fatigue? If so, this video is for you. When we work with clients through upgraded formulas, one of the most common things we see is people complaining about fatigue. If this is you, if this is sometimes you, then I think you'll really like these tips. Number one, I find even among healthy people, I even have to watch myself on this, is that I'll have a great bout of focus and I'll be in deep work for a couple hours and I will not drink enough water. So hydration is actually the first one. Hydration is key. You can take your body weight. So I'm roughly 190 pounds, divide that by 2. You can round up if you want, say 200 divided by 2. You're at 100 ounces for the day. Even if you're not really active, being somewhere close to that, within say 10% of that, is a really good spot to be. There's a lot of problems that happen when you're dehydrated, constipation, you'll just get more nervous, you'll be just not as calm. And the other things in your body you naturally won't detox. Your body needs to clean out your cells. We're getting rid of something like 40 billion cells, billion with a B, every day. So when you're looking at that much turnover, you really need hydration. So I don't think I've ever heard anyone connect these. I hope that's helpful to help you remember, because we kind of get stuck in this thought, like, why do I really need this, right? So hopefully that connects. Number two, I would say is, I've got to give it to breath. So oxygenation, water and hydrogen, or hydrogen and oxygen is, a big part of what makes us up, right? So breath, getting that, some of it's nitrogen obviously, but plenty of oxygen into the body, deep breathing, from the perineum really, and getting that breath all the way into the body, taking 6 to 10 breaths throughout the day at certain intervals whenever you feel like snacking. When you walk over, if you're working from home and you find yourself tugging that refrigerator door open and you're like, I'm not even hungry. Give yourself the chance to have a break. It's one of the biggest tips. Over the course of your life, it's $1 million tip when you think of the amount of money you'll save on food, the amount of time you'll then be able to spend resting, thinking, spend that time visualizing, spend that time doing anything but just munching on something, even if it's good for you. Even if you're pulling out celery and nut butter and you're having a snack, you don't need that snack. Your body, if you're not hungry, it's much better. Again, we're talking about cleaning up a lot of cells, detoxing heavy metals. There's a lot going on that your body's doing for us that we're all unaware of, right? So you're much better off with just deep breathing. You can do kind of, a Wim Hof style double breath where you're doing diaphragm breathing and chest breathing on the same breath. And then if you need to use your breath to calm down, and this will also keep you from suffering from fatigue, because what do you think is a cause of fatigue? Well, stress is. How do we cancel out the effects of stress? Well, by putting more oxygen into the body, we relax and we go from sympathetic to parasympathetic. But you have to remember that. You just remember that, oh, wow, I'm feeling neck tightness, or I'm feeling whatever you're feeling in your body that lets you know, I could deal with a little more deep breath. So, one of the things we have to do is we have to normalize breathing deeply in public and around other people. This is essential, I believe, for being able to be healthy as a society. Because normally you'll breathe deeply and people go, hey, is everything okay? And You're like, yeah, I'm just breathing. Like it's gotta be normalized. I know that's funny, but it really is essential. It's true, it's true. So fatigue, if you can just strip out the stress, God, you need less sleep. I mean, you can still get the same amount of sleep and feel even more rested, but your need for sleep is going to be a lot less. And you do that with these two things. The other thing that I really want to mention is, of course, nutrient deficiency. When our cells aren't making enough energy, it's really tough. They need oxygen, they need nutrients. So when you have your mitochondria inside your cell, get your mitochondria here, when it's taking in plenty of oxygen, when it's taking in plenty of magnesium, it's outputting plenty of ATP, or energy in its raw form. And this is essential if you're going to have clean cells that make plenty of energy, whether it's in your brain, your heart, anywhere, right? Your sexual organs, I mean, like anything of any age. I know a lot of different age groups watch this, and there's a lot of different things that we suffer from at different ages. So some of the things that you see, we work with people that are, not even, they're people that are in grade school, or people that are, in the elderly population. And although those needs differ, these approaches never do. So it's so essential, I think, to acknowledge that we're not breathing deeply often enough. We're breathing very shallowly, probably and we're hunching over. Our posture is changing, and this is really destroying our opportunity for what's the opposite of this? It's energy, right? We want boundless amounts of energy. Just, so much energy that you feel like procrastination would be just self-harm. You have so much energy, you can do it now, why wouldn't you do it? You can just get it done. So you get it done, and then your day, suddenly it's 5 or 6 p.m. and you could keep going. You feel like you're in flow. And you could be working, you could be snowboarding, you could be anywhere. And you could be with anyone as long as you know how to breathe and you get your hydration right. So clean water that's actually filtered. I personally like a countertop reverse osmosis system that I use, and then I re-mineralize, tough to say, but I put minerals back into that water so that it's nice and smooth, so it's not stripping those nutrients out. You want to keep the nutrients in the water, but you want to strip all the junk out, right? This is essential. People come over all the time and they say, wow, this water is incredible. And they ask me what my approach is. So I figure that's important to mention. You can also put things like some of our potassium in there. You can put, I put some of the magnesium in. I'll, depending on the time of day, depending on what my levels are, because I'm testing, I'll put certain things. Sometimes, manganese is another thing I add in. I just want different things throughout the day to make sure that water is carrying those nutrients into the cell, so the cell can make plenty of energy. So I'll give you one bonus. The other bonus is if you're suffering from fatigue, the other thing, this is your bonus, is toxins or heavy metals. So heavy metals and other toxins really, let's just talk about heavy metals. They absolutely disrupt your cell's ability to make energy. So they'll come in and you'll have mercury, and it will block thyroid hormone, for example, as it tries to come in and dock on a cell. And that's your body's attempt to make energy. It's an attempt to give and receive hormones and make energy from it. So something we'll use in addition to ability to pull these things out is we'll use iodine because it'll blast off some of that mercury. If you have a lot of toxicity, you gotta be a little careful with it. Again, this is why we test. That's why we don't guess. That's why we trademark test, don't guess. And it's just part of the ethos. There's just no getting around giving your body what it needs so that you aren't fatigued, so that you can have plenty of energy to go and conquer life, to live the life that you want to live. If this was helpful, let us know in the comments the other topics you'd like me to cover, and I'd be happy to do that. There's so many topics like this that are interrelated, and there's so many questions that we get asked on a daily basis with upgraded formulas. So this is, it's really essential that we get some of your feedback to help us narrow it in. If you haven't already, tap like and tap subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.